Alrighty, welcome back to the channel. This video is well overdue, but it's finally here. It's the return of What's On, where basically you guys suggest songs and I give them a listen and my thoughts on them. Really quickly, all of these suggestions were taken from my Instagram, which you can follow at over.shore, and I have two quick announcements before we get into the actual video. First is I have a Discord now. I hop in there whenever I have spare time, so feel free to join in and have a chat. I've had some really great conversations with some of you. I really wanted to break the virtual barrier between me and my viewers, and I think being able to talk to you guys does that perfectly. I announce on my Instagram when I'm going on, and we just have a great time. I also have some cool things planned revolving around it, so please, if you'd like, I would encourage you to join my Discord server, and there will be a link in the description. To lead into this second announcement, I would first like to say thank you so much for the love on the Luke Combs video. It did insanely well. It destroyed all of my other videos statistically, so I first want to thank you for that. I definitely think I came across a little harsh in that video. I would like to confirm I am a big Luke Combs fan myself, and it's not that his songs are bad. They're all fantastic songs. I just don't want him to play it safe. I'm one of those people that likes when artists switch it up, and I love risk-taking. It's also just super encouraging when a video does that well. It just inspires me to hop right back in my chair and get to recording. But the announcement is that we're super close to 500 subscribers. So if you're not already, I would really appreciate it if you subscribed. And it's not too late to comment your question for the 500 subscriber Q&A. So if you have a question, either comment it on this video or send me a message on Instagram. It doesn't have to be related to anything. It could be as simple as what time I wake up in the morning. Okay, that was a long intro, so I'm finally going to cut to the chase. All I'm going to say is you guys have absolutely flooded me with suggestions, which is amazing. Do not stop. But all that means is your suggestion might not appear in this video, but please know it's on a list and I'll try to get to it as soon as possible. Now, finally, onto the first track, Polyester by Luke Dick and Miranda Lambert. Right off the bat, this song starts with a nice forward-minded kick drum and establishes its sound right away. Luke Dick has a great voice, and I think it's very fitting for this track. The texture in his voice when he holds back a little in the verses is really, really nice and rich. The harmonies also add a lot, in my opinion. There's a really fat groove to the chorus of this thing. Luke also brings more strength to his delivery in the chorus. I think Miranda is a great addition to the track. She sounds very comfortable and in general well fit for the track. I think this track does a great job with the lyrics adding this homemade style that it's talking about. It's a song about beating the odds and breaking out of home to become these musical stars. I love the goofy little details as well in the lyrics. Miranda's sister winning a raffle, getting your first comma in your bank account and learning Def Leppard. It just makes the whole song feel so authentic. My only real criticism here is, though the hook isn't bad by any means, I don't think it's as catchy as it could be, but overall a great tune. I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10. Next up is Damn Good Goodbye by Mike Ryan.
So we drank a case of Shiner on my daddy's Maker's Mark.
I'm going to start off by saying I love this song, especially being a high school student. I know a moment like this song is coming soon. I just refuse to accept it. I will live in denial until it happens. It's about having to let go of your childhood group of friends before you go off to post-secondary education. I think Mike's voice has a really nice bite to it. A very loose vocal style, if that makes sense. The song transitions in the second verse discussing the romantic side, having to leave his high school love behind because he says high school love ain't strong enough for a 7-hour drive. It just tugs on your heart. This song sonically has a great sound with a nice fiddle solo to close it off. My only criticism is that I think Mike's vocals were a little vanilla in the chorus. I'm not sure if more power would have been the right move, but just a little bit of spice would have been nice. I don't like criticizing something if I don't have any reasoning behind it, but it just feels like there's something missing in the chorus. Overall though, fantastic track. I think I'll give this one an 8. Next up is Gabrielle by Eldredge.
And I've been wondering for so long, oh, was it your heart or mine?
I was extremely familiar with this track before it was suggested to me, but I figured why not hop on and give my opinion on it. I'd like to begin by saying this entire record is phenomenal. If you've not listened to it, I highly recommend you do. It gives off some real Billy Joel vibes at times, and you can most definitely expect to see it somewhere in my ear rewind. This track opens with some great piano over some basic cymbal shots. Brett's voice fits the song so perfectly. It's such a sweet, wholesome track. Not necessarily about the one that got away, but the one that just fell apart for whatever reason. Like Brett says, was it your heart or mine, or was it just the wrong time? This track has such a contagious feel. It's a really optimistic view, which sums up this whole album. This track has a great build, and the fact it was released as a single is just the icing on the cake. The chorus is so catchy. Brett's range in the bridge is nothing but a treat. Just a well-rounded, great tune. And like I said, if you have not given Brett's Sunday Drive album a listen, I really don't know what you're doing. It was my absolute jam over the course of the summer, and I got my dad addicted to it. You wouldn't believe me if I told you how often he has this album playing, whether he's working or just enjoying a drink around a fire. Oh, rating-wise, 8.5 or a 9. It's really good. The next track is Senior Year by Drew Baldridge.
We were living fast on top of the world, trying to find a guy old enough to buy a little cheap wine for you, girl.
Straight out of the gates, this track opens with very poppy production, which I'm not big on. I don't think there's a need for it, and though we get some more organic drums as the track progresses, it definitely still feels like pop country. Content-wise, it's kind of down the same road as Damn Good Goodbye. As you could guess, this song is about being a high school senior and the cultural power or status you gain, saying even though in retrospect you're still just a young, dumb kid, you feel like you're on top of the world. I do like little bits when he mentions The Boys of Fall by Kenny Chesney. Lyrically, this song is quite checklisty, especially in the chorus. I do like the lyric about folding chairs in a school gym. And I understand what this track was going for, almost like an upbeat, nostalgic high school anthem. So I think its heart was in the right place. I'm just not big on the production, especially with all the vocal samples of the oohs and yahs. Lyrically, I think it has some room to grow as well. Like I said, heart was in the right place. I just don't think the game plan was executed as crisp as it could have. I'll give this track a 5. Alright, we're going to switch it up. Now, Smoke by Faren Rachel's.
He don't even know that I smoke, that I can't stand his favorite band. I'm trying like hell to give a damn.
This whole video has been filled with fantastic songs, and this is no exception. We start with a very stripped-back verse, almost an a cappella, before some piano and guitar bridge us nicely into this ambient, airy chorus with a great hook and better lyrics. It's about Rachel being ashamed of hiding her imperfections to this new guy. The wordplay in this track is really something, saying that he brings out the best side of her, but that's the only side he's ever seen. I'm just going to read off some sections from this track because it really is something else. The chorus goes, "He don't even know that I smoke, that I can't stand his favorite band, and I'm trying like hell to give a damn, hoping I'll change my mind, I'm trying to buy a little time, he's falling fast now, how am I supposed to tell him, my heart's still a little bit broke when he doesn't even know that I smoke." And the second verse as well. "Perfume, it's a new thing for me. Man, I miss how the old me had nothing to hide. He thinks I like my roses red, and that I'm clearing my head when I go for a drive." A lot of these lyrics went over my head during my first listen through, but after paying some closer attention, I realized the amount of thought that went into every single line here. The sound is very modern, but it works. I like it. I think Faren delivers her lines with conviction. She's got a fantastic voice, similar to Ashley McBryde if I had to find a comparison. And the last chorus starts off as an a cappella with these huge harmonies that, if you know me, I love my harmonies. This song is growing on me exponentially as we speak. And rating-wise, I'll give it an 8.5, but I can imagine that number goes nowhere but up over time. Alrighty, second to last, I have That Way Again by Brice.
You couldn't pull them apart. God, she felt so unbelievable in his arms.
Brice is one of those artists that has been really hit or miss with me, especially when we're talking about his upcoming album and the singles he's released from that. And because of that inconsistency and gap of quality, I've never really dug deep into Lee's catalog, but this is an absolute gem, an acoustic ballad that is really pulled off to perfection. Lee has such a phenomenal voice. He just has this God-given tone that's irresistible. Whether he's dialed back like on this track, where he's almost whispering at times, or when he's belting his lungs out on tracks like I Hope You're Happy Now. This track is about a woman feeling the relationship between her partner has slowly faded over time. They have their good times, but on the whole, she feels the relationship is slowly failing. She's catching herself looking down at her ring every now and then, but she don't want to leave, she just needs it to be that way again. This song is just storytelling through music at its absolute finest. The chord progression of this track is so gorgeous. I definitely hear some overlap in the melodies between this track and Austin by Blake Shelton, but I'm going to stay focused on the task at hand. The track is so simple. Instrumentally, it has everything it needs and nothing more. It really allows you to focus on and appreciate the emotion Lee is pouring into this track. It's just an acoustic guitar the whole time, and then we get some gorgeous strings closer to the end before a string section solo to close the track out. Like I said, this track is an absolute gem. From the production, delivery, and the lyrics, arrangement, songwriting, I think I have no choice but to give this a 10 out of 10. Alrighty, and lastly, I have Whiskey and Rain by Michael Ray.
It's been a downpour beating.
I'm really excited to talk about this song. I had never really paid much attention to Michael Ray. Despite the whole track being a checklist, I did enjoy the idea behind Her World or Mine, but I just blew over Michael on the whole, never really gave much of his stuff a listen because I just assumed he was another radio-happy artist that made vanilla music that radio wants to push. But this track has really put Michael Ray on my radar. I was so thrown off by how traditional, fun, and country this track is. For comparison, it sounds like it could have fit nicely into the new Luke Bryan record. It's just got such a traditional country dive bar sound that's irresistible. Michael's delivery is super smooth and easygoing, giving this track a sleazy, few too many feel to it. I think he delivers this track perfectly. Lyrically, by no means is this bringing some new idea to light. It's just about using whiskey as an escape from life, but man is it done in a fun manner. The hook is so catchy and the production just feels so rich and full. We got smooth electric guitars everywhere, fiddle solos in the bridge. It's just a hoot of a time. I've had this track on repeat since it was recommended. Smooth is the perfect word to describe this track. Similar vibes to Too Drunk to Drive by Luke Bryan, which is a great thing. This was easily the biggest surprise of the video for me, and Michael Ray, if you can keep this sound, you've earned yourself a new fan. So yes, this track might not be some lyrical masterpiece, but from an enjoyable standpoint, I absolutely love this track. I'll give it a 9 just because the song isn't a 10 out of 10, though the production is, but it's easily my favorite track from this episode, hence why I left it for last. Alright, so that was episode 2 of What's On. Bit of a lengthier episode, hope you guys like that. I know some of you wanted me to pass the 10-minute mark, so I'm trying to do that a little more. Be sure to comment what you thought of these tracks. Remember to comment a question for the 500 subscriber Q&A. Subscribe if you have not already. Like the video if you enjoyed. And yeah, other than that, I think I've said everything I needed to say. So yeah, have a great day.